So there is no light without dark, and there is no dark without light. Now, this is a concept that exists within human nature, and it also exists within just the natural laws. You have to have both. Yet in society, we say, don't look at your dark side, diminish the dark side, focus on just the light side, right? And these are just two different sides of your psyche, two different sides of your spirit that are actually essential for both. Because if you don't have one, you won't have the other, or you won't have a more effective other, right? So because one differentiates the other, it defines the other. So by removing one, you cannot have both. Now, what does this mean? Why am I saying this right now? It's because you need to lean into your dark side. For years and years and years, you, as well as myself, I've done this. You've diminished that dark side. You've tried to push it away completely. You've ignored it. You've actually tried to completely remove it from your entire being because it was demonized by society, right? All of those dark thoughts that you have. And they can be very, very dark thoughts that you have, right? Even aggression, right? Within men, we've been taught to suppress aggression, which is a dark emotion, right? Or anger. These are things that we're taught to diminish. But the reality is, the minute you diminish that, you'll lose the fuel or the energy to move forward. You'll lose at least extra fuel you could have had. So thinking about this, you have to look at someone like Carl Jung, right? I study Carl Jung. He's a famous psychologist that talks a lot about integrating the dark and the light, right? Or integrating the shadow. So essentially, you have a shadow, which is your dark side, that you need to integrate into your entire psyche, into your light side, right? All of the positive traits that you have, all of the happy thoughts and emotions that you have. You have to be able to integrate both of those to be an entire human being, to be complete. Because what happens is you will find people who completely remove the dark side in them, and they will essentially feel like a hollow shell of a person. There won't be anything that's unique about them, right? You'll always notice this. People who are just insanely like happy all of the time, it's great. But over time, they'll start to break down, and they'll start to heavily over-index on that happy side and then move over to like being some crazy lunatic. Like, I've seen this happen a few times, right? You'll see people who are super, super happy. They never experienced a negative emotion. They didn't know how to manage that. See, the whole goal of integrating the shadow, which is what you need to do, leaning into your dark side and actually analyzing it and utilizing it to your advantage, you're creating a balance. You're creating a level of understanding within yourself to where you know that these dark things exist. Now, you don't let them overconsume you, because then you wouldn't be balanced. Then there would not be any light. It would just be dark. That's how you find people who are criminals. That's how you find people who do very heinous acts, because they allow for that dark side to consume them. What I'm saying right now, I'm not saying for you to consume that. Right? I know there are shallow thinkers who are going to watch this video and say, oh, he's saying to do bad things. No, you have to be happy all the time. You have to seek positivity. Cool. Whatever. What I'm saying is, you need to dive into your dark side. Dive into the darkest desires you have. Understand that you're a human being that also has these thoughts and has these desires, has these emotions that are considered negative to society, and try to use them as fuel. Try to transmute them as something that you can use to enhance positivity amongst the world. See, you don't inflict your dark thoughts or your dark feelings to the world. You inflict them on yourself to give yourself more motivation or inspiration to inflict light on the world. That's how you have a balance, right? That's how you will see some people who have the darkest like upbringings or thoughts. They'll do amazing things, whether it be in sports, whether it be in business, whether it be whoever they are. They're able to transcend these dark thoughts, these dark things that exist, these negative things that exist, and transmute it into a positive direction. And it makes the positive direction that they transmute even greater than it could have been if they just focused on the positive. So for example, anger, aggression, right? This is something that's pushed down amongst men. This is a quote unquote dark or shadow of men, right? Anger, pain. These are things that you can use as energy, as unlimited sources of energy to do positive things in the world, right? To level yourself up, to be able to improve society. You use the pains that you have, that emotion, because you have to understand, as human beings, even from a psychological perspective, we're always drawn to negativity. That is why if I make a negative title to a certain extent, it'll do really well. If you see a negative headline on the news, people will tend to read that. People will tend to gravitate towards that. Negativity tends to be what humans focus on a lot more, or even fear of loss, right? The fear of loss is something that you will gravitate more than fear of gain, right? There's a positive gain and there's a negative loss. You'll always over index on that loss part. So even with gambling, you would rather focus on what percentage of loss you'll be able to get versus the percentage of gain. Because humans innately do not want to lose. They do not want to have that negative side. They don't want to experience that. I say all of this because that's what you need to continuously focus on, is what is that thing? How do I integrate my shadow, as Carl Jung would say? How do you integrate the shadow? How do you bring two together? Because think about like a Jenga tower. It's exactly what this is. You're building a Jenga tower with your friends, and you see how you pull different blocks out, and you see how many blocks can you pull until it falls. And then you pull that one last block out and it falls. You would never be you without the negative side of you. That tower would never be the tower without the block, each different block that exists within it. As you try to remove these negative things out of you and you don't properly integrate them into the light of you, you don't properly integrate these shadow-like tendencies into the lighter version of yourself, you will slowly start to deteriorate yourself. You will slowly start to become a shell of a person, a shell of a man. And you won't have that power, you won't have that zest for life, because you do not have those negative or those dark things that are integrated together. So your dark side is very important. You need to be able to channel it for different things. The aggression, the pain, fear, all of these dark things you need to be able to utilize, right? And there are darker things, of course. I don't need to say that because it'll drive a lot of controversy. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has very, very dark, malicious thoughts. And you have to be able to face those things and understand that it's a part of you. And you need to be able to utilize whatever it is to generate positive results in society and actually provide a better society based on either the service, the skill, or whatever sheer determinism that you have, or determination that you have, you need to be able to integrate both. That's what's going to cause the balance. That's what causes the balance in the human machine. The more that you try to push things away, the more that you try to remove negative vices that you have, utilize those vices. You look at Michael Jordan, his biggest vice was gambling. That was his biggest vice. But his vice of gambling is what drove him to become one of the greatest basketball players of all time. His passion for basketball and moving beyond just the passion in the NBA, his passion for making money. The reason for that is because he needed something. He needed to be great at something to make the money that he made, to be able to then supplement for his gambling addiction. If he removed the gambling addiction completely, there would be no motivation for him specifically to go. And I know a lot of this stuff is going to be insane. You're probably going to be like, there's no way. Like, no, gambling is wrong. He should just not gamble. Okay, remove gambling from Michael Jordan completely. Remove that addiction or that vice that he had, right? He would not be the same Michael Jordan that he is today. He arguably would be a lot worse, right? So you cannot remove certain vices from yourself thinking that you're going to be a better person. If anything, it's going to make you a shell of a person. You need to be aware of those vices. Now, whether you choose to indulge in them or not is up to you. But you can't completely dismiss the fact that you have vices, right? A lot of very successful men have sexual vices. And because they have sexual vices, it pushes them to be able to drive and strive for more. They move that sexual energy. They're able to successfully move that sexual energy into something positive, such as business. Everyone has a vice. Everyone has a vice. And you need to be able to utilize these vices to be able to propel you forward by doing positive things, by using those vices as fuel, as motivation, as ambition to be able to go do bigger things in life. Everybody has a vice. Everyone has a dark side. You have a dark side right now. You have dark thoughts that go through your head that you will never tell a soul on this planet, but you know they exist and you need to face them. Because that shadow, once you integrate it into the light portion of you, that is when you become an entire person. That is when you become unique. That's when you have this magnetism to you. See, a lot of people nowadays are cookie cutter because all they focus on is the light. That's all they focus on. They focus on light, 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 light. Positivity here, positivity there. They never focus on the dark side. That dark energy that will help you drive things forward. It's hard to understand, at first, but think about the Jenga board. As you remove pieces, it loses its balance, it loses its base, and then it ends up crumbling. That is how you as a man will become if you continuously push away the dark nature that exists within you. You need to be able to combine both. The minute you do that, you're unstoppable. So I hope you found this video valuable. It's different. Go look up shadow work. Do some shadow work. Shadow work is basically you analyzing yourself and seeing what those negative thoughts, what those dark emotions are, and confronting them. And not rejecting them, but dancing with them, right? Utilizing them for positivity. That's the nuance. So like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend that needs help with, you know, just understanding who they are as a person. They feel like a shell of a person. They feel like they're not their entire being. This video will help you so much when it comes, and it helped me. This concept helped me a lot when I started studying Carl Jung. Carl Jung, last name is Jung. You have to look him up, read his books. His books are amazing. They're very dense. They're not easily comprehensible. They will take a few times to read through, but it will help your comprehension as well. Read those books and understand the human psyche and understand how important it is to have a dark side leaning into your dark nature. You need to have that for motivation, for fuel, for energy, for the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. Sign up to the email list below. Free email list for me, Minor Martel. We talk a lot about this stuff too. You know, just bless your email box, man. Bless your inbox with great information. If you want one-on-one coaching, hit me up as well. Link is below. When it comes to fitness, that I believe that is the foundation for all men to be able to be in shape. You don't need to be the biggest guy in the room, but you do need to be lean, and you do need to be healthy, and you need to be able to have some muscle on you to be a real man. And a lot of you copers will disagree with that, but that is your fault. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.